Right, I'd like to welcome you all to our commissioners meeting this evening. All those present, if you could please rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you all here this evening. Go ahead and start. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Hensy,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Ravina.
Yes. The first thing on our agenda today is a citizen recognition. Chief Donor, you gonna be doing that?
I will. Well, commissioners, we got four special guests with us today. This is Greg. I hope I got the names right. Greg and Emily and Ryan and Elizabeth. And one person that couldn't be here, Shannon. We have the crews here and Chief O'Leary come up here with me too, to correct me with my story. But on July 23rd, there was an auto accident with an unconscious patient. The tires were spinning. There was smoke coming from the vehicle. The patient was unconscious within the vehicle, and these four jumped into action, getting the gentleman out of the car, get him away from the scene right before the car actually caught on fire, and made a difference in somebody's lives. And Chief, did I describe it well, or did I miss anything?
No, that's pretty accurate. We started out as a motor vehicle collision, so we're starting to respond to that. And I'm thinking, oh, this is fairly routine, but at least often. And then they added that there was a car fire, and so that ups the level of complexity a little bit more. And then they added that somebody was in cardiac arrest, so we added some more resources. So when I got there, I was expecting much worse. And thanks to you four, it was fairly straightforward at that point, because when I pulled up, we had a car fire, we had a patient that you were already caring for, and you made our job a lot.
Yeah, as Elizabeth and I were talking when she got here, she said that there were quite a few cars that just drove on by before she stopped, and Elizabeth even said she doesn't feel like she did anything, but you did, right? Other people just drove by, and if the four of you wouldn't have jumped into action, the scene would have been much worse, not only for us, but for the patient. So thank you for being good neighbors. Thank you for being good citizens. It may not feel like you did much, but you pulled somebody out of a car and the car caught on fire, and that's a big deal. And we just want to recognize all four of you and tell you thank you. So I have a pen and a certificate. Let me give you a pen here first. I also have, we call these challenge coins from Gig Harbor Fire Department. And the way we traditionally give a challenge coin is we shake your hand. I just want to shake your hand and say thank you for what you did for our citizens and for our community. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. And make sure I get this one for Ryan. Dang it. Emily, sorry. I got them mixed up. I thought I had them in the right order. All right. Emily's fine. Great. Connie, you can get a picture? Or, yeah, we guys stand up and where do you want us?
Yeah, why don't you just put your backs to the table?
All right. Come on, Lance.
We always like to share good news, so.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioners, anything before
Oh, you're dying to stay for the entire fire commissioners meeting. You were like excited to come here for to hear our business, but thank you all for coming. We put this at the front so that you don't have to sit through our meeting. You are welcome to hang out with us. for the rest of the evening, but, don't feel bad about getting up and leaving. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take this time just to say thank you all for everything that you guys.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Lots of places to sit.
Oh, we know who they came to see.
Justin and Jackson, just you guys, huh?
Go ahead and continue with the meeting. The next item of business is commissioner absences. Commissioner Wiltie did say he was gonna be out of town. Is there a motion to excuse his absence? So roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson.
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina,
Yes. Any communications time?
no communications.
Okay. So a motion to approve the minutes for our August 8th meeting.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina,
Yes, and that brings us to our voucher approval.
I'll move that we approve accounts payable vouchers 199,585 through 199,930, payroll vouchers 199,841 through 199,857 for a subtotal of $1,172,812.09. And ACH payroll transfer and wire transfer fees for a subtotal of $1,283,040.51, grand total of $2,455,852.60.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina.
Yes. And I did hear from President Flick, and we do not have a report from the locals, right? That gets us to item 9, chief's reports.
All right, we start with Chief Oldenburg.
Good evening, Commissioners. I just have one quick update in regards to the FEMA desk review. I reported last time that we submitted an appeal for some point of contact updates that were posted in our final recommendation. Subsequent to our last meeting, we did receive word, Crystal got a personal phone call from FEMA apologizing for documenting that, and they were not aware of the extraordinary steps we had taken to that point to try to correct that situation, and so they will be updating our final review. And so I'm happy to report that that has changed since our last meeting, so.
Don't you love it when you know you're right?
You mean the lengthy letter with like 10 different examples of how you tried it actually worked?
Yes. Thank you.
Do you want to introduce Travis?
Yes, if you leave that up to me, yeah. So in the back of the room, Travis, I'd like to introduce you to our new information systems manager, Travis Blackman. So he's been here a few days, right?
5 days.
So, yeah, and he's still here. So he's just exploding with all of the different ideas he has, but we're super glad to have him here. I think you were all able to read his bio and stuff like that. So we're super happy that you're here to join us, Travis, and thank you.
Thank you. We're excited.
Welcome.
Yeah, Travis and his wife Mia have already moved here and got a place, and here we go. Mia referees volleyball, collegiate volleyball. She's been pretty busy already. She already got a job doing that really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, Chief Booth.
Right. Good evening. I have a few things to update the commission on. You may remember that Dr. Cheryl Hart had been a contract MHP with us for the last 2 to 3 years. I don't remember the exact timeline. She had requested about a month ago to go ahead and terminate her contract with us. She's going to move on to other things. She's working on an online educational platform, continue to serve first responders, but she had the need to kind of redirect some of her efforts. So we just signed a contract with a provider named Phoebe Mulligan. It's a name that you may be familiar with. She works with a lot of law enforcement agencies in the county. Yes, I know. She's fantastic. And I'm really excited to see where her influence takes our program moving forward. Not only oversight to the peer support team, but then just overall education for the membership at large. So I'm excited for Phoebe to come on board, and her contract is effective immediately. You may be aware that there is a lot going on right now with PFAS. It's basically it's a short abbreviation for a billion chemicals that are in our gear and in a lot of our protective equipment, as well as there's some potential chemicals in our duty uniforms. I've been researching that for several months, along with the safety committee. The union has been very involved in helping us gather information and trying to figure out where we're headed. But there's an effort, we're looking to slow down just a little bit. There's an effort from several agencies in Western Washington to get together with representatives from the State Council of Firefighters and try to generate kind of a consensus-based approach on how we want to move forward. There is a concern, a very real concern, that if we were to go ahead and just pivot to something and the WAC changes, then suddenly what we pivot to will no longer be compliant. So that's why we want to get the State Council involved, so we have some legislative influence. So that committee's meeting, the first committee meeting for that group is either this coming week or the week after. But I've been asked to be part of that committee, and so I'm excited to dig in with that group and start doing that work. And then lastly, I want to tell you all about Sonny Putnam again. We talked about him last meeting. He is home. Yes, he is home. No, not even 3 weeks after a heart transplant. His son Tommy came to station 50 today, as well as some of the other stations. His mission in the next several days is to shake the hand of every single person that either knew Sonny, that's heard of Sonny, or ideally his goal was to shake the hand of everyone that ever cared for Sonny. But he's not going to be here long enough to be able to catch everyone with vacation season and whatnot. But he shared with us that the doctors continue to say, wow, every time they readdress, whether it's his heart biopsy or the fact that he's out running, not running, but, walking the hill in his neighborhood already. It's just miraculous recovery from his procedure. And so he is home. He and Carol are excited for visitors starting as early as this coming Friday. And there's an email that everyone has received with not only a phone number, but also their home address. And he'd love to continue to just be part of this family. And so I encourage everyone, if you have an opportunity to swing by, he lives right around the corner of 56. He's continued to do amazing. So I want to keep everyone updated on his progress. Please.
On the uniform thing.
Yes.
You were talking about that. I understand the bunker gear and how that can get
Right.
bring on continuity with that. But when you said the uniform, do you mean like what the guys have on right now as they wear around the station, not so much what you would wear here?
Well,
or what they were, or what they could possibly pick up from around the station.
No, there's concern that the uniforms themselves,
Really?
and it's not necessarily the fabric is inherently a risk. It's the processing that goes into whether it be dyeing or the actual creation of the garment, that there could be chemicals added to that are creating an exposure.
So that can be for law enforcement as well as fire, anybody.
Yeah, we wear Nomex, which is probably the bright shiny thing in the middle of this issue. But there is evidence that even dyed cotton can be putting off chemicals. And that would be part of the manufacturing process. Yeah. So we're trying to move through it methodically, not make any knee-jerk reactions, try to do something that's in the best interest of our membership as a whole. But it's a complicated topic.
Anything that's waterproof has it. So
Correct.
you're wearing it. So we don't, we want our firefighters to be safe. We want to be safe. We don't want to be wearing things. At the same time, we want to do this reasonable, right? Because we could take the shirt off and then put your coat on to go home and be getting exposed just as much, if not more. So let's be reasonable. Let's not make any knee-jerk reactions. Let's make sure that this is or is not harmful. And then we'll go from there. Because like I said, dyed cotton has it in it too. It's everywhere. It's in, and we can go on and on the things that it's in. So just by taking that uniform off doesn't reduce the exposure, because we don't want to be just handing something else that has the same exposure or more. So it's a lot to learn, but we are working with the IFF and the Washington State Council and the chiefs to do what we can.
I just want to say Phoebe's fantastic. I can't remember whether she worked for Multicare or Oak Sparks or which agency it was, but she's part of the multidisciplinary team at the Children's Advocacy Society that I'm a part of at work, and she's great. So she'll be a great addition to this organization.
Yeah, if you remember, she taught several sessions in June and was getting great feedback from them. It was all. Yeah. Thank you.
Chief Meyer?
Good evening. I just want to give you a few updates from operations. Yesterday, Chief Doan, Chief Corrigan, and myself met with the fire chief, the operations chief, and the training staff from South Kitsap Fire and Rescue. And the intent was just to talk about relationships, the training capabilities of each organizations, not only the South Kitsap. They have a training facility up in Bremerton that's part of the Kitsap County Training Consortium, which also has some federal and state partners that belong to that. So it was really just a meeting to develop the relationships, talk about operational responses. This ties into the work that Chief Stone's been doing with the CAD to CAD relationship between Firecom and CENTCOM and trying to improve that and make that faster. And we're actually seeing the fruits of that, where if we're getting toned to South Kitsap or them coming here, it's actually happening faster. So we're seeing the fruits of that labor. So thank you on that front. West Pierce Fire and Rescue, last Wednesday, crews assisted with a large brush fire that happened in Fort Steilacoom Park. It ended up being 24 acres. No structures or lives were lost. And we assisted at the scene and also backfilled station and ran some calls while covering for West Pierce Fire and Rescue. Currently deployments, wildfire season is upon us. Paul Stark, as part of Washington State Task Force 1, Paul Stark is deployed to Hawaii and has been there, I think, roughly a week now. So John Johnson has kept tabs of Paul. John Johnson has sent out some updates about what Paul is doing. Anyway, Paul Stark, our thoughts and prayers are with him and support him in that devastation in Hawaii. Another firefighter paramedic for us, Dana Perello. He is deployed as a medical unit leader trainee at a wildland fire as part of an incident management team up by Ross Lake up in Whatcom County, Highway 20, sourdough fire. So he's doing a training assignment up there. Brush 53 is currently deployed to the Spokane area. That's got Scott Jorgensen, Glenn Rogers, and Travis Monroe. They're assisting in the Spokane area. I don't currently know which fire they're on, but as we know, there's multiple fires that are causing some devastation in the Spokane area. So with all that said and all those things going on, John Johnson is our zone coordinator for the Fire Defense Board, and he helps assist getting people out, not only helping getting our fire people out to support different agencies, but he's a cog in the wheel trying to help manage and get the right resources to the right incident, not only here in our region, but across the state. So John does a lot of that work behind the scenes, a lot of phone calls, a lot of computer stuff. And so we're grateful for that involvement. And then lastly, this last weekend, the training division at our campus hosted some training for the Washington State Towing Association, so tow truck drivers. They came down and they've done that in the past, and they used our facility to train tow truck drivers for collisions and recovery and different things like that. They used our classroom, used our facility, and we've done that in the past. So we just, it's a good partnership for our people. So unless there's any questions, that's the end of my report. Yes, sir.
You were saying Chief Johnson has been sending out updates. Any other commissioners didn't get that? No. Would it be possible to make sure the commissioners are included?
Yes, I will have him update you folks.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief.
Let's see, I have South Sound Board 911 board meeting tomorrow, and then Thursday I'll be attending. The city has asked me, they're hiring a housing and human services program manager. Their job is to be with homelessness and housing and within the city of Gig Harbor, and so they want to partner with us. We'll be key players with them. So they've asked me to be in the final interviews to choose that person. So I'll be doing that all day Thursday. And if I get done in time, going to the community rec center groundbreaking on Thursday. But most important, we won't have another meeting between now and a very important date of September 2nd, which Boise State Broncos will be playing the Washington Huskies. And I'm just wanting to challenge the commissioner that the loser has to wear the other team's colors to the next meeting.
Gladly.
So you're gonna need to go shopping?
What size do you wear so I can get you a Bronco shirt? That's all I have.
I don't want to be overconfident.
I think you are. It's too
Well,
late.
that's one thing with Husky fans. We're always overconfident and then we go, we're gonna get you next year.
All right, is that it for chief's reports?
Yeah.
All right. Any standing committee reports?
Should be two negotiations, Matt. Want me to help you
Yes,
out a little?
I didn't know if you were gonna go over that with your MOU.
I can do it now.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, the negotiations team met with Commissioner Yancey and Commissioner Wilsey, myself and Chief Oldenburg, with the mediator, and we were able to come to an agreement on PFML. And so we've signed some contract language that puts paid family medical leave and recognizes it within the contract. And then we signed an MOA that from January of 2023 till 2025, we will split the rate to 50-50 rather than the 76-23. So that'll happen starting January of this year through 2025, and then that expires. This year's, we'll call it back pay, will be done in first quarter. And to make it simpler, we're going to take the amount owed to the union members, and we're going to just split it equally, rather than trying to figure out to the penny every single person what we owe. And so in the first quarter of next year, each member will be given an equal amount for the 2023. So I'm glad to have that all finished. I think President Flick is too, and so anything else, Commissioner?
Oh, that was it. Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I've never been with a mediator, but it was interesting, learning experience, and I think it went well.
Yeah.
So the audit committee had a meeting as we had our exit interview. And as we expected, it was a very short meeting, very uneventful meeting. And I like those exit interviews that are short and uneventful. And they were very, very complimentary of the department. So thank you, Perry. Thank you, Chris.
It was really nice to hear everything that she said, and when she came to no findings, we find no findings, we find no findings. It was great to hear all of that, and I said it there, and I'll say it here, that a lot of thanks to Crystal and Perry and the chief in regards to all the hard work that you guys do as a team to put us where we're at in regards to that. So those no findings are always nice to hear. So thank you for that.
All right, any other standing committee report? Okay, finance report. Crystal.
Okay. Didn't share my screen. So in page 24 of the packet is the July 2023 financial report. I actually don't have any specific items to report that are out of the ordinary. We went into a little more in-depth detail in the last meeting. So if you do have any questions, it's in 2020, or I'm sorry, page 24 of the packet.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you. I don't have anything for a chairman's report. So that gets us to item 13, bond update.
Chief Johnson is just returning this evening and won't be available tonight. We talked a little bit, nothing new. We're kind of still on holding pattern for both 53 and 57 at the county and also at the training facility. The Station 51 committee is still meeting. We're going to have a few more meetings, and then we're going to bring the facilities team together, committee together to show them and get any feedback from the facilities team. So that's all the update for the bond.
Any questions? I don't see any old business. That gets us to new business. Item A, acquisition of personal property. Crystal?
Okay, on page 25 of the packet is resolution 2023-9. This is authorizing us to enter into the state's local program to facilitate borrowing for 2 purchases for the district. One is our SCBA purchase that will be arriving in the near term. The other, which was recently revised from a couple meetings ago, we will also be including EMS equipment in this purchase. So it will include our X series, our auto pulses, and our AEDs. So this was a planned expenditure that we had in a future year in 2024. So we're grouping those together. This is just the legal document to authorize 1, entering an agreement with the state, 2, authorizing our representatives to enter into that agreement. So you'll see there are a couple attachments. The financing contract with the Office of the State Treasurer, our notice of intent that was submitted and approved at the state level. And then it also includes the certificate of authorized representatives. And that for this action will include the chief, Assistant Chief Perry Oldenburg, and myself, and just requires us to sign those applicable documents with the state.
Any questions? I'll move that we approve resolution 2023-09.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina.
Yes.
And then I'll move that we approve resolution 2023-10.
Second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Incy,
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson,
Yes.
Commissioner Sudich,
Yes.
Chairman Urbina.
Yes. Any other new business? Let's see. Okay. That gets us to open public comment. So state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes. Anyone present or online that wishes to speak? Seen any?
What's the right attendee didn't put on the?
Yeah, just make sure his hand's not up.
The,
Attendee.
sorry.
Okay. That's Dave Chase. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he told me you want. All right, that gets us to good of the order. Any good of the order? Seeing none, any special interests?
One
You
thing,
do? Okay.
I have to, I can't sit back and allow the chief. I don't know if it's appropriate. I don't know what the fight song for Boise State is, but I'm very familiar with the Huskies. Bow down to Washington. I'm not gonna say anything like somebody has to sing something, but it's just something that's going through my head. I had to respond to a Bronco. That's,
He looked good in blue and orange, because
like I told the chief, he thought this was Husky country. I said, no, this is Cougar country.
So
turning into Bronco country.
I would just note, we spent a bunch of money on AV equipment over here. If either of you sing, I feel like it's a explode. So you probably shouldn't do that.
You don't have to worry about me singing. Even if I lose, I'm not gonna sing.
It'd be best to do that down the tide.
I'm sure if you watch this, maybe you pull an old episode of the Smurfs, you might go find something, some type of song in a Smurf movie or something in regards to.
All right, let's go to special interest. Anything? All right. I'll move to adjourn the meeting. Our next regular meeting will be September 12th, so 3 weeks in between our. Yes, and we'll all stay after and sign. I promise. All right. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just sent the.
You sent it already?
Yep.
Okay.